Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. Just going to give Facebook a little bit of time to send out some notifications. Hey, good. Oh, it's a great in you. There is, friend. There's greatness in you. And on this wonderful Sunday morning, where I'm at, the clouds are out. No matter what the circumstance or the situation that we face in life, the shining. I love what the Army tends to say about the word is a myth. It doesn't exist. We try to chase it and we try to say, oh, I. So work while the sun is shining. It means work while you have breath in your lungs. Mother Teresa was asked, when is my mission over? And she said, when I stop breathing. And people say, well, how did she have that much power? I mean, that little woman could stand up in front of presidents and world leaders and point her finger in their face and say, God's going to judge you. And they sit there like little children. They were like, they wouldn't say a word. Nobody interrupted that woman. Or Gandhi. How did Gandhi wield the power that he had? He lived out in the middle of nowhere, but he wielded power over 200 million people in India. How did he do that? How did he accomplish that? Because he knew who he was on the inside. And when you know who you are on the inside, that you're a raging fire. So I just want to read this poem this morning. So I'm going to go to a different screen, but I'm just going to read this here. It's by Do Not Go Gently Into That Good Night. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage against the dying of the light. The wise men and their end no dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning. They do not go gentle into that good night. Good men and last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in Green Bay. Rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze the meteors and be gay. Rage against the dying of the light. And you, my Father, there on the sad height, curse bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night, but rage against the dying of the light. If we would do what we what a difference we could make in the world if we lived as if today would be our last. There's a book I've read. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And in it, he talks about awaking this day with love in my heart. I will awake this day and I will laugh at the world. I will persist until I succeed. I will do more, be more, and have more than I ever had before because of what's one thing he did. I will live this day as though it be my last. I always tell people I found out I don't have much time left. The only time we've been given, guys, is today. We have not been given tomorrow. And yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. And today is a gift. And that's why they call it the presence. But what are you going to do to unwrap the things in your life today that need to be unwrapped? Robbing the graveyard means I'm not going to wait until I'm dead to decide to live. The Apostle Paul said 2,000 years ago, I said, I'm torn between two worlds. I desire to depart and be with the Lord, but it's fruitful that I remain here and convinced of this. But there was a battle back and forth. There was a wrestling. And when my father-in-law passed away, I saw him the night before, and he raged. I mean, there was this battle going forth. He was fighting tooth and nail. And I think he waited too long to fight tooth and nail, in my opinion. He gave up the fight probably 50 years prior. And a lot of us have given up the fight. You know, my mother was a wonderful soul. My mother would write prisoners. She would write letters to these prisoners. My brother Paul was in prison for about 18 years, and she would write him, and then her letters that she would write Paul, and they'd say, I wish I had a mom like that. And said, Mom, all these guys around me, they said they wish they had a mom like ours. Mom was a beautiful soul. And Mom would write these letters to these prisoners, and she felt she had a ministry. She felt she was doing something. But then, you know, she had a mini stroke, and she lost the use of her right hand, and she couldn't write anymore the way she could. And so she I get emotional when I talk about my mom. So she would she stopped being able to do what the purpose was. And, you know, when you stop using things, you begin to lose those things. And she lost her purpose, and therefore, you know, things just progressively got worse. But for years, she wrote these prisoners, and these prisoners, after they got out, upon her death, there was several of them at her funeral. No matter where they were in the States, they heard Myrtle, their mom, passed away. She became the mom to prisoners, just in letters. What's your purpose? What's your purpose? What is your purpose? And it says, be no longer conformed by the renewal of your mind, so that you know and test and approve what that good and pleasing will of God is for your life. What is the purpose of God for your life? What is he asking of you today? What is he asking of you today? If we change what we think about, change what we'll bring about, you know, that's what will happen. But how are you going to live your life in such a way that you're going to rage against the dying of the light? You're not going to go gentle. You're going to leave a mark. You're going to light a fire. You're going to blaze a fire. You may not like me or hate. You may love me or hate me, but you will definitely not forget me. And I want to leave my mark on the people that I communicate with, and that see me. And I want to leave something behind. I will only pass this way but once. This, I will not get another chance. I will not be able to do this again. Will you miss me when I'm gone? You know, I'm baffled. Last year in March, they gave the order to close all the churches. Did you miss yours? I mean, really miss it? Was it that much of a vital part of your life in your community? Were they that much of a vital part of your life? I mean, I I've said this and I'll say it again on this God blessed Sunday morning. I think the closing of the churches was the best thing that could have happened in this world. Now somebody's going to write me a letter, and I hope so. And this is what I mean by that. What that did. Are we relevant? Are we relevant today? Do we even matter today? That's scary to think about. Have we made such an impact that they know, Billy Graham, he made an impact. Billy Graham made an impact on all faiths. He made an impact. I don't know that the church on the corner makes that big of an impact. It's a social club sometimes. I don't know if it does. And I was a pastor for 7 years, guys. And there is so much that God wants to do with the church. The church is not a building. It's not a building. It is not confined to a building. Jesus walked through walls. I don't know why we're bound by them. But he didn't have any denominations. In fact, the word denomination, if you just look it up, if you just look at the word denomination spells out the word demon in our nation. I mean, there's if you can divide, you can conquer. And they have divided us as believers in all faiths, But my point is, guys, what are you going to do to rob the graveyard of your destiny, of your legacy, of your goals, of your passions, of your dreams? Because we all want to make it securely just to make it safely until we die. It's a battle. Security does not exist. Now, I love certainty. I love that I can pay a bill. I love that I can drive a car. I love the fact that I have some certainty that I'm going to eat today. But I don't know what today holds. I have to, every time the Bible would mention courage, it would put the word good in front of it. Be of good courage. We all have courage, guys. It's not like you have a lack of courage. It's just most of our courage is used wrongly. It's used wrongly.